in Bear. And of course, the weather finally, it looks like the calendar has finally changed. The weather going to be changing, and unfortunately, people are going to be getting involved in a few more car accidents in the very near future.
Yeah, so I thought today we'd talk about, to give you some tips about what to do if you've been in a car accident. A lot of times you're in a car accident and right off the bat, you've got an adjuster calling you if somebody else caused the accident, and the adjuster, you have to remember the adjuster's goal is to close that claim quickly and pay the least amount of money possible. So one of the things that you have to remember is that if you have whiplash, a lot of times that's not going to show up for a couple of days. I don't know how many times, I was just talking to somebody yesterday that was in a pretty serious car accident, and he told me, at the time I really felt fine, but the next day I woke up and oh my gosh, was I in pain. So you have to remember that you don't want to be too quick to try and settle your claim.
A lot of people want to try to get okay, we had an accident, let's get this done, let's get everything finished, and then move on to the next thing. But you might want to wait a little bit, is what you're saying.
Yes, because the point is once you settle, then you're done. So if you and I are in a car accident and maybe the first 2 days after the accident you say, well, I feel pretty good, I'm a little sore, but I think I'm fine, and you have an adjuster calling you saying, hey Lou, we're going to take care of your car and we're going to pay you $3,000. Well, you might think, well, gosh, that's great.
Right.
And then 3 or 4 days after that, you've got a sore neck, a sore back. Sometimes.
So is there a period of time that you have to figure out if something's going on with you?
Well, and that's what you have to remember. You have 2 years to settle a car accident claim.
2 years?
Yes, so
I didn't know that.
There's no rush, and so that's what we try to tell people. Don't rush. I know the sound, because a lot of times the adjusters will say, hey, we'll issue the check today, we can get it over to you, and people are thinking, well, this is good money. I got Christmas coming up or whatever,
right.
And so yeah, I'll take the money. But you have to know that once you take that, then you're done. And the other thing that I want to remind people of too, because let's say that you did go to the emergency room and then afterwards, you feel okay, and so you accept the $3,000 and you're thinking, okay, I didn't use a lawyer, I've got $3,000 in my pocket. The problem that a lot of people don't realize is your health insurance company is going to be calling you saying, we want repaid for the cost of that ER visit.
They will?
Yes. So now you thought you settled for $3,000, but out of your $3,000 now you have to turn around and
you have to pay them back?
Yes, you have to pay them back.
Wouldn't that be submitted to the insurance company?
Yes, it'll be submitted to the health insurance company, and so your health insurance company typically a couple weeks later will be sending you a letter saying, we understand you were in a car accident, please provide us with the information, and you fill that out, and the next thing you know, they're going to be saying, okay, well, here's what we spent, and we understand you've settled the claim, so here's what you owe us.
Now, would you have to? No, because you would, if you had a copay on the emergency room visit, that's already paid.
That's already paid.
This is on top of
this
what
is on top of that. So let's say that an emergency room visit is $2,500, and let's say that your insurance company, because of the discount and the contract they have, maybe they paid $1,000 of that. And the rest was written off by the hospital. So out of your $3,000, you're going to be expected to pay that $1,000 back.
I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know that.
Why do you have to pay that back?
Because the insurance company paid for a bill that was somebody else's fault. And when you recovered money, what the car insurance company was doing was they were paying you not only for your pain and suffering, but for your medical bills.
Okay.
So you shouldn't have to be, so you shouldn't keep the money because the money really belongs to the hospital, to the medical bills. Yeah, so that's the problem. A lot of people don't realize that. And I've had people call me up after they've settled the claim and saying, hey, can you get me out of this? And I'm like, well, no, it's too late. You've already got the check. You signed a release. And they'll say to me, yeah, but I owe, Blue Cross Blue Shield this amount of money. I got to pay my chiropractor. Right. So that really is the biggest tip this morning is don't rush it. Just don't rush it. make sure you're okay. Make sure you're done treating before you negotiate something.
Okay, what happens if you you get a check, you get a payment, and then you realize you're a little more banged up than you thought you were, and you need some additional treatment?
That's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you. You're done. Once you settle, you're done. So that's what a lot of people don't realize. Because a lot of people will say, well, I have medical bills, so I'll take this money and I'll pay my medical bills, and then I'll get a hold of them later to let them know how I'm doing. And that is not how it works. You get one check, one release, that's it. So now, the other thing I want to make sure that people understand, when you're in a car accident, you actually have two claims. One is for your car, the damage to your car, and the other one is, what you've been through.
Right.
So the damage to the car is something that you should just go ahead and settle yourself. You absolutely do
That you can do.
That you can do.
Okay.
You don't need a lawyer. Go on ahead and do it. But here's some tips. Number one, get on Kelley Blue Book and look and see what your car's worth, and make sure that when you're on Kelley Blue Book that you're putting in all the bells and whistles. There are all these boxes to check.
Right.
Yeah, does it have a sunroof? Does it have this kind of tires?
Premium stereo system,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
And it's KBB. KBB.com
Yes,
is
yes.
the website to make it easier. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. So you want to make sure you do that so that you have a good number. And then the other tip that I give people is you need to remember that the first offer for property damage is usually not the last offer.
Right.
So, and a lot of times people will say, well, they offered me $5,000 for my car, and I was really hoping for $6,000, but I took it. And it's too late by the time they talk to me. And so, and like I said, I don't really think you need a lawyer to handle that part of the claim, and it's a separate part of the claim, but you need to do a little bit of homework so you can negotiate. So, and remember
Because that's
that.
what they do for a living. So you
Exactly.
need to have a little info so you can
Exactly.
Go back
exactly.
there,
that out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And then another point that I wanted to make sure is if you weren't wearing your seatbelt, sometimes people say, "Oh my
Right.
gosh, the adjuster's making a big deal that I didn't have my seatbelt on." And so hopefully in today's world, everybody's wearing their seatbelt. But if you didn't have your seatbelt on, our law attributes just 5% negligence to you. So it doesn't get rid of your claim. It doesn't mean that you don't have a claim. It just means that they might take a discount off the top of what they're going to pay you.
All right, now speaking of getting paid, say you did get a settlement on this
Yes.
and you got a check.
Yes.
Do you have to pay taxes on that?
You do not. There's one exception. If they're paying you for lost wages, then arguably that money you're supposed to pay taxes on. But typically what we do and what the release says is that it's for a personal injury. And so the money that you receive for your pain and suffering and for kind of what you went through and the inconvenience and the medical bills is not taxable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to
Wow,
know.
lots of great advice.
lot
If
of
people want to
things.
just talk to you about what you were discussing today, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Just give us a call at 515-INJURED. We're right across the street from Vets Auditorium, and there's no charge for a free consultation.
Wonderful.
There it is. Perfect.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Great information today.
All right, it is 7:48 right now. Stick around. We will be right back. And when we return, it will be totally serious news time. CW Iowa Live.